Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Theron and I'm a part-time eBay reseller. I also flip a few things out of my garage, but 99% of the work I do is on eBay. And I'm starting a YouTube channel. This is my very first YouTube video ever. And what I'd like to do with this channel is catalog my journey from basically a startup eBay store to a full-blown source of meaningful income for me and my family. I started using eBay about 2 years ago to liquidate some assets from my house that I no longer wanted. I had a very large Lego collection, Star Wars Legos, that I no longer wanted, so I sold all that on eBay. And then I also had a substantial collection of model railroad and train equipment that I sold on eBay. Also, I play a collectible card game called Magic the Gathering, and I liquidated a large portion of my card collection on eBay. At the time, a couple years ago when I was doing this, I was not looking at eBay as a source of long-term income or anything with longevity to it. I was just looking at it as a vehicle to get rid of some things I no longer wanted, grab some cash, and pay some bills, and take a vacation, just do some things with that money. But as the year or so wore on that I was doing that and kind of getting to the end of that process, I got used to having money laying around in a PayPal account. Even if it was just 50, 60 bucks here and there, it was nice to just kind of have that to grab it when I wanted it. So I started thinking to myself, geez, I wonder if there's a way that I could source things from outside my house locally that I could put on eBay and continue this little stream of income. So I started looking into that on YouTube. Actually, I found some very informative YouTube channels and I've learned a lot from them, and I still continue to watch them, and they inspire me to now want to do bigger things. So for the last year, I've been dabbling with this on what I'd say is a hobby level, and by that I mean probably like less than 10 hours a week that I spend playing around with it. And it's become kind of a hobby that pays me instead of a hobby that costs me money. I've gotten so I really enjoy it. I enjoy the sourcing. I enjoy hunting for good things. And I enjoy the photo taking and the packaging and shipping. I really don't mind any of it. The only thing I find to be a little tedious at times is when I'm doing listings. That's probably my least favorite part. But you got to take the good with the bad, right? So that's a little bit about me. What I'd like to do with this channel and with this eBay thing is, like I said, scale it up. So the purpose of this channel is going to be to catalog my progress as I go along and do this, and also take you guys on the journey with me. And hopefully I can teach anybody that's looking to go from a startup, because that's really what I am at this point. I believe that anybody who really wants to get serious and hit the ground running can get where I'm at now, probably in like 2 months or less. I maintain about 300 listings. My sell-through rate is like maybe like 2 items on average a day. Some days it's more, some days it's a goose egg, but I'd say that's my average. And I think that a person could probably get where I'm at in probably less than 2 months if they really hit the ground running and put their nose to it. You know what I mean? So I want to get from where I'm at up to a much larger level store. So with that, let me take you on a tour of what I have now, and we'll see if we can build it up from there. So I think the best place to start is right here, because this is where I started my eBay business, is on this workbench. This is in a corner of my basement, and you can see those white sheets of plastic I have laid up over the pegboard and on the workbench itself. This is where I spent over a year taking photos and listing things on eBay. So for anybody that says they don't have the space, you really don't need much. Just find a little corner of your house. I also started with $0. Like I said, I started by liquidating things out of my own house. So my startup capital is literally $0. So anybody that is making excuses saying they don't have the money, they don't have the space, I think that's bull. And anybody can do this. Just got to find a little spot to start. I use this space now. You can see how cluttered it is. It's I have my scale and I keep shipping supplies and stuff. I actually do need to clean it up. It's quite cluttered, but that's where I started. And then over here is what was left of what used to be a train set, that shelf that everything's sitting on. I used to have a train set on there. It was part of it. But this is all my listed inventory. Like I said, I maintain about 300 listings, and everything on this shelf is listed. It's a wide array of things. I've just kind of been dabbling in a little bit of everything. It's kind of like throwing darts at a dartboard, seeing what sticks to the wall, you know. So shoes and coats and electronics and books and some toys and just a little bit of everything. And then down below here I have 8 bins. This is all clothing. This is kind of where I started sourcing things outside of the house, was clothing. And here's what I like about clothing. It's cheap, it's easy to ship, and it doesn't take up any room. I've got over 200 items here just in these clothing bins. What I don't like about clothing, it's a pain in the butt to list and photograph, and it's long tail, meaning you're going to sit on most of these things for quite a while. They do sell through, but you're going to spend a lot of time building it up, and then you'll see sales kind of trickle through. But it's kind of bread and butter. It pays for my fees, it pays for my store fees, and it gives me cash to go yard selling the next week. So those are the things that I do like about it. But I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not boring and a little bit tedious. And then what I graduated to for picture taking and working is I set up this is about an 8-foot long folding table, and I found this bed sheet at a yard sale. It was a sheet set for $2. And so I draped the sheet down for the wall and over the table, and that is now what I take photographs on. And you can see I've got some items here that are actually ready to ship. These are today's sales. And for lighting, I just got this light about a week ago, and I saw it on another YouTube channel. This would be John at Cincinnati Picker. He has a set of these, so I got one to try it out. I really, really like it, so I have another one on the way, and I think it'll be here probably tomorrow, hopefully. And so I use this table for all my photographing, and I also use it to do all my shipping work. The nice thing about the sheet is when I'm trying to do boxing and shipping, I just fold the sheet out of the way, and I have a nice table to work on. And then I do all of my listing and all of my other work right here at the end of the table. I have my laptop and a printer set up, and this is where I just do all the shipping, print the shipping labels, do all the listings, that kind of thing. And then in this corner, this is unlisted inventory. These are things I picked up last weekend. I have some clothing here hanging up, some jeans and shirts and a coat. And I have a beta player that I need to deal with. And then these actually I picked up like 2 weeks ago. I have this box, and then this box is, as I drop my iron, this box is also full. I believe there's not quite 200 Beanie Babies, but pretty close, but they all have the tags on them. And I bought this entire collection from a lady at a yard sale for $100. So I'm either going to learn a really good lesson here about Beanie Babies, or I'm going to make some money. So that remains to be seen, but I do need to start processing these as soon as I can. But that's my entire death pile at this point. These are all things I sourced within the last 2 weeks. A lot of what I sourced last Saturday I've already listed and sold. And then I keep an ironing board in here as well, because it's nice to have. Sometimes you need to bring some clothing back to life. So that's my store in a nutshell. It's not very big, and it's in a corner of my basement. And yeah, so it doesn't take very much space to get started. And I suppose, real quickly, I could run down the couple things that did sell today. What I've got here is a pair of, this is Silver brand jeans. I paid probably $2 for these, and I'm getting 14 plus shipping out of them. This is a towel hanger. I paid $1 for it. I'm getting $7 out of it, but I did include the shipping, so not a real big sale, but it's a volume sale. Under here, I actually have a whole bin full of these things, and they do sell through, and I paid $1 a piece for all of them at a yard sale. And then the big sale for the day is this pair of combat boots that I picked up actually last Saturday, so these flipped really, really quick. And these are actually military issue marine boots, combat boots. I paid $10 for these, and I'm getting $40 plus shipping out of them. And they sold within 2 days of me listing them. So I'd like to just really quickly conclude this first video. You expect probably one upload a week for now. I think that's about all I've got time for. And what it'll be is just kind of a video log of highlights of the week. some listings that I put up, some good sales, and things that I find as I source. It'll just kind of capture the whole week in a short video. Look for that probably Saturday night or Sunday every week. And then also I'd like to shout out to a few of the YouTubers who've inspired me to do this. And just say thanks to them for their content, and go check their channels out. The first one is Garage Flips, Lonnie at Garage Flips. He's one of the first ones I found, and I really like what he's doing. He's got a great business model, and hopefully I can aspire to get to where he's at, and it's something that I feel is attainable for me. And along those lines, John at Cincinnati Picker also has a really good channel, and he works out of his home as well. And then kind of a newcomer, or a little bit newer channel is RVA Flips, Ryan. And he also works out of his house. And it's been fun to watch his channel because he's a lot newer to the game. And he's basically, been kind of a startup as well. And it's fun to see his progress and how far he's come in the short time that he's been doing YouTube and that. And also some larger sellers, if you're interested in doing larger things. I watch Rally Roots. They're down in Florida, and they actually have a store and a storefront and do wholesale and Amazon and all that stuff. And also a channel called Side Hustle Network. Yeah, and they are also a much larger scale operation with a storefront, and they do Amazon and flipping and eBay and on everything, wholesale and pallets and all that stuff. So if you're interested in some of those bigger things, those are a couple of good channels to check out too. I've learned a lot from all of these content creators, and I appreciate their efforts, and hopefully I can contribute a little something to this community as well. So thanks for watching, and let's do this.